That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
Hey, what's up, campers? Welcome back to the 12th episode of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
And come to the fire. We got some stories to tell. First off, I like to say, stop listening to this right now. Very counterintuitive. But if you could stop listening to this and go leave us a review. And
I mean, they don't have to stop listening, but if you really want to concentrate, I guess.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, that would be. We're looking for some more reviews, really, because that would just make us get more visible, so more people can check us out. And
maybe get a sponsor.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but yeah.
This is brought to you by Harry's Razors. Harry's Razors. They work. They have 3 blades. What? I don't know. Do they work?
I don't. Oh, Harry's? Yeah, I like Harry's actually.
Damn, this actually sounds like an ad now.
No, I do use Harry's. Aren't they like the Target only brand?
Oh, they do sell them in Target now. Well, they did do podcasts and stuff for a while, but
oh, I thought it was only a Target thing.
I mean, now maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe they upper echelon the podcasting, and then Target was like, we want them, and they're like, okay, we don't have to advertise anymore because we're in Target.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Do you ever get Shane Co. ads where you're from?
Shane Co.
Shane Co.
No, is that a jewelry store?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then.
Yeah, 'cause I wasn't sure if that was an Oregon thing only because when I worked in.
Are you proposing to me?
No, not yet.
Okay.
When I worked in radio, we'd always have to. Shane Co. was like all we got, and it was just like this rickety old man. And now you've got a friend in the diamond business.
A couple of radio ones that we always got. You got a friend in diamond business, yeah, for sure. You got a friend in diamond
and
business.
it's like it's okay. Sorry, one of my favorite things in the world with commercials and radio advertisement, whatever, is when like the owners of this company, regardless on how awful they sound or look, like they're like
they have to be in the commercial.
No, like it's good. I'm gonna be in the commercial. Like
it's like Michael Scott being like, I have to direct the Dunder Mifflin paper.
Exactly.
Like he has to be in it. Like even though because he thinks that he's gonna get like. Those are the people that really want like the fame and recognition. They never got it, and they thought that by starting a company, they'll be like, well, if this company gets big enough, people will know who I am, and still no one knows who they are. So it's like, put me in a goddamn commercial.
Exactly.
But some big radio ones that I remember are Every Kiss Begins with K. That was actually that was K's Jewelers. But the big ones were O'Reilly. Auto parts. Yeah, it's like
like a little guitar slam right there.
Okay, this might be an only Bay Area one, but did you ever have? I mean, it's not because it's Fry's Electronics, but remember, it's like your Best Buys are always at Fry's, guaranteed.
Did Fry's go Banco?
I think so.
Yeah, because I feel like we might have had a Fry's in Portland, Oregon. But that might have been the only one we had in the state.
They didn't go bankrupt because there are some around here. There's one in Burbank, and the cool thing about Fry's is that actually this ties into the podcast a little bit. The cool thing about Fry's is each one, or at least they used to, have a theme.
Yeah.
And the one in Burbank is alien themed.
I've been to that one.
So there's an alien saucer sticking out of the front of Fry's in Burbank, and you go in, and everything looks like the 50s. It looks like the people I think are dressed like 50s, like burger workers and stuff like that. It's
I used to go that one all the time. My uncle is an old. He's
an alien.
Yeah, he's an alien. Fuck, he might be. Sorry if you're listening to this, Uncle Jay, but he might be an alien. He's a big Trekkie. But he used to do a lot of, he still does, but does a lot of computer work and stuff, like software stuff. And that's one cool thing about Fry's. It's like, it's a place you can just go in and buy like any part of a computer, basically. And so we'd always go whenever I was in town and stuff, because I used to love to like look at all the weird stuff. I didn't know what any of it did, but...
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I still love going into like Best Buy, and like I still like the brick and mortar because you don't get the same like browsing on Amazon is really fun. I'm not going to take that away from anyone.
And it's cheaper, but it's still fun to go in a...
Yeah, you go into a Best Buy, you see which one you like the best in person, and then you go to Amazon and you buy it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does that.
Well, you ever notice how, I swear to God, every Best Buy has one of those phone jammers. So you can't go on.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right.
You can't go on Amazon while you're in the store, but then once you leave, because you can't check the prices.
Yeah, I was walking out the other day and I was like, "Why is my phone working?" Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
We're busting up a conspiracy theories right
Big
now.
time.
What'd you say? You said before we started, you said you wanted to bring something up and talk about it.
Well, huge thing that I know you're fully aware of, and our Instagram followers might be aware of. But the other day, I was sitting in traffic taking someone to the airport, and so we've got our logo. That's the animated version of Tobin and I fighting monsters, and we made a bunch of stickers with them. We have like 1,000 of them or something.
We got 1,000 stickers, but I mean, we still have like 899. I don't. We probably didn't even. I just meant I gave you like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that box over there has at least over 500 in it.
Oh yeah, no. If I had to guess, I would say we have maybe gotten rid of less than 50.
I put up like 15 in the neighborhood on like light posts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's illegal, right? Oh shit. Anyway, I'm not putting it on
Yeah,
stop
no, we
signs.
didn't do that.
I put it on like electrical boxes and stuff. And
I
like,
always put on dumpsters because we're trash.
and not like in an annoying way, just like hey, oh, that's a cool sticker.
Yeah.
But
And they're really easy to peel off.
yeah, I didn't give anybody stickers.
I gave David Ledwith, our sweet baby,
And
our
child,
our pretty baby boy. Daddy like a pretty baby. Yeah, no, I gave him a bunch of stickers, but he said he didn't do it. But so I'm sitting in traffic, and nowhere close. I'm over at LAX area, which isn't very close to where Tobin and I live.
that's nuts.
And sitting at a red light, and I look to my left, and there's this truck, and they've got one of our fucking stickers
On the tailgate of the truck.
on the tailgate of the truck, and like I just like freaked out. I was like, what the fuck, are you kidding me?
Why didn't you like yell at those guys like hey, roll down your window?
Well, I didn't know if like someone. My theory
Vandalize their shit.
is someone took. Maybe one of them did, but someone took it off of a fucking phone pole and then put it on their truck. And I didn't want to be like, hey, like, where'd you get that sticker? Like, that's me on your car.
Well, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no. Well, they're two yard workers because the back of the truck had a little like a lawnmower,
yeah.
garbage can, like a bunch of other things. And yeah, just 2 yard workers. Maybe they listened to us when they cut grass or something. If you're listening to this right now and that was you guys, hit our DMs, I guess. I don't know.
Any press is good press.
Yeah, we'll
right?
get you guys a t-shirt or something. But
Damn.
yeah, that like blew my, like, I'm still just like so confused. The only thing I can think of, the only way they could have gotten that is if they took it off of like something we already stuck one to and then put it there.
Those stickers are hard to get off too. I mean,
See, I took
not.
one off and
Maybe
it
not.
came off pretty easy.
okay, maybe they did peel it off then.
They come off intact too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I put that one on my laptop and it had air bubbles because I'm an idiot. And yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay if you take it off a pole and stick it on something you like more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the LA area, we'll give you some.
Yeah, you want some stickers? Stop on by.
Yeah.
Yeah, you called me in a fever, and you're like, "Hey, what the fuck? Did you stick a sticker on a truck?" And I'm
Well,
like,
that's kind
"No,
of a fucked
what?"
up thing to do. If it's like,
Oh yeah, I didn't do that. No, I don't vandalize. I try not to vandalize more than I need to.
city property is one thing, personal property.
Exactly. You could.
Yeah.
I'm actually. I'm sustaining the economy of people who sticker peelers.
Yeah.
Whoever has to go peel the stickers off, you have a job now because
Yeah.
of me. But I only put up like 10. So I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I've only put a few up in
I'm a piece of
very
shit, I
bad
guess.
places, but
Oh, bathroom. Bathroom.
I
You don't want to be incriminating. We'll stop there.
yeah, I'll stop where. I put
Let's
one.
get into these stories because I got a good story for you today.
All right.
It might be a little long, but it's definitely good, and it's something you guys know about, but maybe don't know the full story. So today I'm going to be telling you about a man named Thomas P. Corbett, a.k.a. Boston Corbett, a.k.a. the Patriot, a.k.a. the insane man who killed John Wilkes Booth.
So is it the one that Mel Gibson played?
No, not the Patriot as in... No, not Mel Gibson.
Remember that guy got his fucking dome taken off with a cannonball?
That was the yeah, but that was the Revolutionary War.
That's
that
the
was
only thing I
not-
remember about that movie.
But that was one of the best scenes. Aim small, miss small. But Corbett was born in London and immigrated with his family to New York City in 1839, shortly after settling down in the small town of Troy near Albany.
Albany?
Oh, is it Albany?
Albany.
I call it Albany.
My mom is from Albany, Oregon.
Is that spelled the same?
ALB.
ANY?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe it is Albany. Because I've heard him pronounce Albany. Yeah, you're probably right.
All baloney.
Yeah. As a young man, Corbett began apprenticing as a hatter, which is a person who makes hats, if you didn't know by the name. It's a profession that he would hold intermittently throughout his whole life. And as a hatter, Corbett was regularly exposed to the fumes of mercury nitrate, then used in the treatment of fur to produce felt used on hats. If you didn't know, excessive exposure to the compound can lead to hallucinations, psychosis, and twitching, known as Hatter's shakes. Hatter's, which is really interesting because that brings me around to the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
You wonder why he's so mad.
I mean, yeah, he's all tweaking out.
He got a parking ticket.
Yeah. What?
That's why he's mad. No, he's mad because he apparently has this thing called, I looked it up, it's called Mad Hatter syndrome or erethism, and it's characterized by behavioral changes such as irritability, low self-confidence, depression, apathy, shyness, and timidity. Yeah. And in some extreme cases, with prolonged exposure to mercury vapors, delirium, personality changes, and memory loss. So it's not. I can hear you pouring that.
Sorry,
you fucker.
I tried to do that quietly. I fucked that one up.
You're about to make
I'm just
me
gonna hold on.
Fucking Mad Hatter over
Time
here.
out.
God. Yep. Okay.
Get it all out. It's empty.
That's some good water you
I didn't
got.
open it though.
But so he was exposed to these chemicals or mercury nitrate, which is apparently supposed to make you like somewhat crazy. And
Yeah, why not?
a lot of these historians believe that him working as a hatter was, I don't want to say it was the only thing that made him act the way he's about to act, but it definitely added to it. Because this guy kind of seems like he has just like a shitty personality to a certain extent,
Okay.
but not a shitty personality, but like a weird obsessive personality.
Yeah.
So after working as a hatter in Troy for many years, he eventually made his way back to New York City, where he soon after married his wife. But the happiness didn't last, as tragedy struck when both his wife and baby daughter died during childbirth. This was the incident that changed his life forever.
Yeah, they'll fucking do it to you.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, every great movie starts off with you just losing your whole family.
Mm-hmm. It's like Keanu Reeves.
Homeward Bound.
Keanu Reeves, he's lost everyone he's ever loved.
Yeah, that is actually really sad.
Yeah.
I mean, he just like his sister and parents, and I don't know what else happened to him, but
Like, wasn't it his wife and child to be?
oh, I
too?
don't know, probably.
Yeah, pretty sure.
It's really sad. But trying to cope with the tragedy, Corbett ran away from the memories in New York by moving to Boston, but then realized that wasn't enough to forget.
Because everything's worse in Boston.
Augustana's there. I think I'll go to Boston.
Yeah, I don't get that
Good
one.
song. Okay. Biggest Augustana fan you ever met. But realizing that moving to Boston wasn't enough to forget, he turned to the bottle and began to wander the streets as a drunk. David might know something about that with his clangety clanging over there.
Yeah, you know, that's probably one of the best activities you can do when you turn into a drunk is to wander the streets. You can trip on things. There's more things to trip on than
More booze out there, though, in the
yeah,
streets.
you know, and you know, it's because when you're at home and you trip on the dog, you feel bad, but you go trip on a stray out in the alley, who gives a shit?
What are you talking about, man? Anyway, let's get back to this. He seemed pretty doomed to die drunk and also not being able to hold a job, homeless, until one day in the 1850s he drunkenly happened upon a street evangelist who was holding court. Now that's always a fun time. You know those guys.
Oh yeah,
Those guys are the ones who are, I mean, they're probably a little bit different in the 1850s, but those are the guys telling you that you're going to go to hell. And these guys, he seemed a little bit more positive, but Corbett was mesmerized by the message of God and became a regular at sidewalk churches around the city. Corbett immediately stopped drinking and became devoutly religious to the Methodist Episcopal Church. After being baptized by the church, he subsequently changed his name to Boston.
like first name or last name?
Boston Corbett, which sounds like a type of dessert pie, right?
Yeah,
Can I have the Boston Corbett?
it's a really bad one though.
Ooh, we're out of that. I'll take the lemon meringue then. You don't like lemon meringue either?
No,
What do you like?
We're talking about pies?
Yeah. You fuck with pie or cake?
Oh, I'm pie all the way.
I'm pie all the way,
Blackberry pie, maybe?
Okay, if you're going to go blackberry, get triple berry at least. Maybe
No,
quad.
No.
What?
Just blackberry, man.
Oh, my God.
You've never had my mother's blackberry pie.
You really think inside the pie. The box of the pie.
I'm sorry.
But, yeah, just get out. Try something new. Cherries, anyways, like my go-to.
Yeah, I just don't like the big old clumps of the cherry.
I love it. Tastes like cough medicine.
Nope.
But like I said, he changed his name to Boston, the name of the city where his life was saved. So that's kind of thoughtful, actually. Kind of weird, though.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me.
Now 26, he regularly attended meetings at the Fulton and Bromfield street churches where his enthusiastic behavior earned him the nickname the Glory to God Man, which is a bad fucking
That's
nickname.
a bad nickname.
The Glory to God. Hey, that's the Glory to God Man. My name is Boston. That kind of sounded like Trump. My name is Boston. Okay.
Yeah, I like how you're also doing the hand thing, like
You gotta
unintentionally
do
doing the
the
little
hand thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's the same with Obama though. When you do the Obama voice, you got to do the.
So let me tell you.
No, you got the hand thing wrong. It's this.
Oh yes, the thumb.
It's like you're holding 1/4.
Let me tell. We need change. I'm the Glory to God Man. Anyway, so those are really bad impressions. I'm sorry about that.
Your Trump was better than your Obama.
You know.
See now where you went wrong with your.
Stop. So he's now the newly fresh, the Glory to God Man. And in an attempt to imitate Jesus, Corbett began to wear his hair very long. I mean, are you Glory to God Man? Are you Boston? Are you Jesus?
He's all over the fucking place.
Are you the Patriot? Not yet.
Not yet. He's getting there. That almost sounds like he's becoming a wrestler.
He does actually. It's like that's like his MO for like. I mean, what's the specialty move?
The Patriot Slam.
The crucifix. But in 1857, Corbett began working at a hat manufacturer's shop on Washington Street. Like I said, this
Going back to his roots.
This guy's really fucking himself up with his mercury. So
I need steady pay, but I also need more of that mercury.
he's getting madder and madder by the day. So he went to Washington Street in downtown Boston. Some of you might know where that is. To work at a hat manufacturer.
I'm assuming it's downtown in Boston.
Yeah, I just meant like Bostonians may know. Like I live on that street. He was reported to be a proficient hatter, but was also known to stop work to pray and sing for coworkers who used profanity in his presence. He also began working as a street preacher and would sermonize and distribute religious literature in North Square. Corbett soon earned a reputation around Boston for being a local eccentric and religious fanatic. Local eccentric means that you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's like the nice way of saying it.
It's kind of like you're so crazy, everyone that's local knows of you.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, he's fun. It's like the crazy person who's kind of harmless.
Yeah, because everybody knows who it is, so it's like you're not going to get away with anything.
But like, how fucking annoying would it be if it's like, hey, man, like working at Subway, and you're like, hey, man, just like, can I get an Asiago cheese bread? And he's just like, wait, I need to pray for you. You didn't say please. He's like, what, dude? Just hand me the bread. He's like, no, I have to pray for you. I can't work yet.
God damn.
I just mean, like, it's crazy to think that he just, like, constantly had to stop and pray for people. But on July 16th, 1858, Corbett was, oh, this is the best. This is the best part of the story. Besides the obvious. But on July 16th, 1858, Corbett was, what's this word? Oh my God. I'm going to start that again.
Oh, no.
Wait. On July 16th, 1858, Corbett was propositioned by two prostitutes while walking home from a church meeting. He was deeply disturbed by the encounter, and this is how you know that this guy is fucking mad, okay? Upon returning to his room at a boarding house, Corbett began reading chapters 18 and 19 in the Gospel of Matthew, and it said, "And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. And in order to avoid sexual temptation and remain holy, he castrated himself with a pair of scissors."
Boy, I thought you were gonna say he ripped the hooker's eyes out.
No. The eunuch's part of that is like when he said
You said right, take out the right eye, but he took out his third eye.
third and fourth.
Oh,
So the
danglers. Okay,
No, he left the peen.
okay.
Took out the bulge.
Huh.
So he, like I said, in the quote it said, "And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake." So he took a pair of scissors, snipped below.
What year is this again?
1858.
Can you imagine how good those 1858 scissors are?
They're definitely made of plastic for children. They're not. No,
They're plain safe.
they're actually pretty sharp, probably.
They're probably more like shears.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like barber shears. Anyway,
Hopefully.
But he's I read a more detailed thing. He snipped the bottom and then apparently just popped them out. And,
okay, that's one way of going about it.
Yeah, so he snipped the bottom of them, and then he ate a meal, went to a prayer meeting, and took a stroll in the park before seeking medical attention.
Holy shit!
So this guy was mad as a hatter, really.
So is mercury the real painkiller here?
I mean, I think God might be the real painkiller.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So after that incident, in April of 1861, early in the American Civil War, Corbett enlisted as a private in Company 1 and the 12th Regiment New York Militia. Corbett's eccentric behavior quickly got him into trouble, though. Can you believe it?
No.
This guy's too eccentric for his own good. He carried a Bible with him at all times and read passages aloud from it regularly, held unauthorized prayer meetings, and argued with the superior officers. Corbett also condemned officers and superiors for what he perceived as violation of God's word. In one instance, he verbally reprimanded Colonel Daniel Butterfield for using profanity and taking the Lord's name in vain. He was sent to the guardhouse for several days, but refused to apologize for his insubordination. Due to his continued disruptive behavior and refusal to take orders, Corbett was court-martialed and sentenced to be shot.
Oh, good.
His sentence was eventually reduced, and he was discharged in August of 1863. Imagine just getting in an argument with like a superior officer and be like, Boston, you're fucking, just apologize. Apparently, he just asked him to apologize, and he's like, I don't have to apologize to you. You should be apologizing to God.
Yeah.
And the guy's just like, just fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
It's like your own soldier. Instead of just like firing him and like discharging him, like, just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, it's easier to deal with.
Corbett, although he got discharged, re-enlisted later that month as a private, but on June 24th, 1864, he was captured by Confederate Colonel John S. Mosby's men in Culpeper, Virginia, and held prisoner as Andersonville Prison for 5 months. Mosby, the guy who caught him, said most of the men were ready to surrender, but not Corbett. He stood out manfully and fired his revolver, and 12 shots from his breech loading rifle before surrendering. And Mosby really admired his bravery, and it was like, okay, we're not gonna kill you, we're just gonna put you in prison. So I guess he shot some of the guys, and then he's just like, no, this guy's like fucking crazy. I kind of like him.
So my question is, how many rounds does a breech rifle have?
12. He fired 12 rounds.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it had 6 and you had to reload, because I feel like once you're to that point that you're like spending the time to reload a weapon is like when you're like, you're 100% committed to this.
Well, not only did he fire 12 shots from his breech-loading rifle, but he also fired all of his rounds in his revolver, too.
Okay, so he shot 18 times.
So he switched guns, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't know if he had a full pistol, but he was released in exchange in November of 1864 and was admitted to the Army hospital where he was treated for scurvy, malnutrition, exposure, and dysentery. But Corbett spent some time recuperating at the hospital in Annapolis, then joined his regiment. But this is where this is the part where we kind of know about.
Okay.
But just a month before the war was to be officially over, a stage actor and rebel sympathizer named John Wilkes Booth snuck into Lincoln's box in the balcony of Ford Theater in Washington. The president and his wife were watching a comedy, Our American Cousin. Real funny, real gut buster. Booth grabbed his .44 caliber Derringer pistol and shot Lincoln in the back of the head.
Well, you know about how I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but like how not earlier in this one, but in other episodes, but how John Wilkes Booth was like like a really famous actor.
Yeah, he was like,
He was like an equivalent to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson killing.
well, his brother was an actor too, but I think
Yeah.
his brother was more famous than him.
So the difference was
He's like
is
an
that-
Ashton Kutcher.
No. Okay, so the comparison I've heard is that John Wilkes Booth was really good for his like stage combat. He was like an action star,
Makes sense.
and his
Was
brother
he good
was
with a gun?
Yep, exactly.
Not hard to miss when someone's not looking at you from 2
Yeah.
feet away.
But his brother was more of like a dramatic actor, which is typically more
Okay.
like people respect them more.
So we're thinking more of like who's a.
So like Tom Cruise instead of Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, I was gonna say like trying to think of like
Dwayne The Rock Johnson
No,
instead
shut
of
up.
Leo
Shut up.
DiCaprio.
Shut up. I'm thinking of like Gyllenhaal. Maybe like his brother was more of like a Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's like dramatic, and Jake's dramatic too, but like
He's not much of an action
he
star.
could run
though.
his way up a subway, right? I don't know. I'm trying to say what's that movie?
What?
What's that movie where he's on the train and he keeps dying over and over? It doesn't matter. They're brothers, and one's.
But yeah, but John Wilkes Booth was like a really well-known actor. Like he was a really big name when he killed Lincoln, which not a lot of people mention. But like
Yeah.
he was a Mark Wahlberg.
That's like being at the theater and somebody. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Mark
for this.
Wahlberg killing
Somebody
President
shoots-
Trump.
Yeah, somebody shoots the president and then like jumps off the balcony and then yells.
Shit, we can't talk about killing Trump. Our podcast is going to get shut down. We're
and
going
then-
to disappear.
And then he yells, "Sic semper tyrannus."
Yeah.
Thus ever two tyrants, which is what John Wilkes Booth yelled in Latin as he ran for the exit. After an overnight, but the funny thing is too. I'll get to that. After an overnight vigil, the president died early in the morning. By then, Booth had escaped into the night. So I thought he died instantly.
No, he actually lived for like a few hours.
Okay, so
I don't think he was conscious, but like he didn't die. Like his heart didn't stop.
because it seems like the guns just weren't that great. I would just rather have like a more powerful gun and just like end it because that's like just a shit ton of suffering.
Yeah, but how are you gonna get a fucking Gatling gun?
No,
up there?
I'm just saying like it seems like the consensus I came to is it would really suck to get shot back then because it seems like
there's just a marble in your head.
yeah, exactly
rattling around.
exactly, it's just like a BB.
Yeah.
But even after even half crippled because when he leapt from the balcony to the stage, a lot of people know this, he caught again, he broke his leg, but I didn't know he caught his spur on the bunting.
Yeah.
And broke his leg. I didn't know he was wearing spurs. That kind of makes him
It was a part of the show.
Oh, he was in
Yeah.
the play.
Pretty positive.
Okay. He could have been, yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty positive he was a part
it
of the
would
show.
make sense why he was there in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, even after he broke his leg, he eluded capture. He ran. I guess when you got adrenaline in you, you're able to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Didn't they catch him in a barn?
That's what I was going to say. 10
sorry.
days after the assassination, the assailant was still nowhere to be found. And to hunt the traitor, the government turned to the 16th New York Cavalry.
Holy shit! This just makes me think how much I want a 2018 manhunt for Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He's like,
Well, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has a broken leg.
I just love it would be Dwayne The Rock Johnson because he's not politically affiliated each way, and then all of a sudden he just shoots Trump. Like it's not as fun if like who's like really anti-Trump. Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah.
Like if Alec Baldwin shot him, I'd be like, oh fuck, I kind of saw that coming. But then like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then you're just watching as like 10 men are on top of him, and he's still fucking running. He's just like,
So that's what I want. That's something I would love to see. Is what would happen if Dwayne The Rock Johnson was actually fighting for his life? Like,
that'd
would
be
he
scary
be
as
that
fuck.
much of a like shit brick house? Would he be able to take down 12 men like he does in those beautiful car racing movies?
His cardio wouldn't be good because he has too
No?
much muscle. So muscle eats
I don't
up
know,
oxygen.
man.
No, muscle eats. It's a true. People who are really buff,
Is that why I can't run more than 10 feet?
That's not why you can't run more than 10 feet. But yeah, so he would put up a good fight for sure. But yeah,
Close combat, yeah.
He as long as they killed them all in 30
I mean, the thing that
seconds.
gives him, like the actual proof of the doubt is that, like, he played football and stuff like that. Like, he was like a physical athlete.
But he's also smaller back then. Now he's like fucking bodybuilder.
But yeah, no, I mean, like he hasn't. He's not like I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but like Chris Hemsworth, like a pretty boy that's super jacked.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying this guy's like he was like a physical athlete in his time. Like he could probably put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Unlike some actor who is just like jacked out of his mind, but has never had a physical altercation of a sort.
Like Chris Pratt takes like Muay Thai or some shit like that.
Sure.
Anyway,
I said Chris Hemsworth, but yeah.
It's no, but not. Shut up. Doesn't matter. They're all big buff dudes. Okay.
I don't think Chris Pratt's really big and buff.
Okay, let's move on.
I've seen that body.
10 days after the assassination, like I said, the assailant was nowhere to be found, and the government turned to the 16th New York Cavalry, the men who battled the infamous Confederate Colonel James Mosby, his Raiders, not the team. And that was...
they would have lost quicker.
Yeah, it was Boston Corbett's unit, so that they basically sent out Boston Corbett's unit to go look for John Wilkes Booth, which is where he comes into the story, or back into the story. They were looking for Booth and his accomplice, David Harold, which they ended up finding both in a barn on a tobacco farm only 12 days later. Harold willingly surrendered, but Booth was not going to go so quietly. So they tried to burn him out by lighting the barn on fire. I just feel fucking really bad for that farmer who just sitting there.
He has to sit there and watch him burn this shit down.
He's like, John, please get out of the barn. That's my only barn. And he's like, no, I'm not going out. I'm not coming out till they all leave. They're like, you have a fucking fucked up leg. It's gangrenous right now, and you're not getting any better, John.
Yeah.
You're not running anywhere. So he just didn't want to come out of that barn. But they also did not want to kill him. They wanted to give him not a fair trial, but they wanted to serve justice, because there's no way he's coming out of this not guilty. But they wanted to either hang him from the gallows and make a statement out of him, or
exactly.
I don't know, something like that. So so they started burning the barn. And they also wanted to see if it was part of a bigger conspiracy. They thought that maybe
they're questioning.
Yeah, there's more stuff going on underneath.
Yeah.
He wasn't just acting alone. So they needed to find out answers. Even after the barn was on fire, Booth still didn't come out. But when Corbett saw him through the barn was kind of falling apart at this point. And
the booth is on fire.
Not yet. But Boston or Corbett saw him through I don't know, the slits, or maybe the barn was falling apart. He saw him and he fired on Booth, hitting him in the back of the head about an inch below where Lincoln was shot. Booth did not die though right away, which is exactly what I'm fucking saying. These guns suck.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe they're really effective for making you suffer. But
maybe we should go back to those ones.
Yeah, it would be harder to kill people, I'll tell you that. But he did not die right away, so they dragged him out of the barn and carried him to the front porch of the farmhouse. He whispered, "Kill me," and asked to see his hands, as he could not lift them himself because his spinal cord was severed and he was paralyzed. When his hands were lifted to his face, he whispered, "Useless, useless, fuck you." That was a really...
Yeah, my mom's calling me. Hold on, should I answer this?
Yeah, let's just do that part over again. Why do you have a ringer?
I don't know. Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Sorry, are you working?
We're recording the podcast right now.
Okay. What size shirt do you wear in Camp Strange?
Why?
Because I want to get one for
your fake child you wish you could adopt.
Say what?
I wear an XL.
Okay, that's what I need to know, because the mediums are small, and so okay.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything to the podcast while you're on while we're going here?
Yeah, sure. Hey, what do you want to know?
No, I'm just saying, give a shout out or something, since you're disrupting the show right now.
How do I do a shout out?
It's already
You're
recording.
Gonna hold control.
You're already going.
Oh, hey, this is Mama Chose. I've got stories. Oh, man, I've got stories. But when I'm down next week, I got good stories. How I communicate with my father.
All right.
who's been dead for a
Oh.
long time.
Whoa.
By the way, he's dead.
It's awesome.
It's a
let
little
me tell
spooky
ya.
if he wasn't dead.
Yeah. All right, Mom.
And
Well,
then I also do out-of-body travel.
I'm into that.
yeah. Okay, Mom. I gotta let you go. Love you.
Okay.
Bye, Jody.
Sorry about that. You know how it is. Sometimes your phone rings through your computers.
Anyway, that was a really intense part of my story. But it's okay because that was really funny.
Yeah, blame it on my mom.
Blame it on the...
My laptop is now muted. I thought I did that before. I'm sorry. It was probably better than just the vibration sound.
Yeah. But like I said, I'll just start right here. He whispered, "Kill me," and asked to see his hands, as he could not lift them himself since his spinal cord was severed and he was paralyzed. When his hands were lifted to his face, he whispered, "Useless, useless," and the next morning at 7 a.m. he died.
I'm pretty sure he was really prideful of his hands, like I was saying, because he was like
He's
like a
David Duchovny in Zoolander. He's like a hand model.
yeah. It was kind of like that. I think he was really well known for his sword fighting,
His hand jobs.
his hand jobs, his hand jibbers. But no, he was a really like I was saying earlier, he was kind of like an action guy.
Oh, man.
He was really well known for his fencing and sword fights on stage.
Oh, so that would make sense why he looked to his
He's very prideful of his beautiful hands.
Oh man, well I mean he had bigger problems at stake of like shooting the president in the back of the head, so
Oh yeah, that can do it.
he wasn't gonna use his hands anymore anyway, except for in prison. You know what I'm saying, guys?
You know what I'm saying?
Where are my prison boys at? Arsenio Hall. Who was in the dog pound? Anyway, Lieutenant Colonel Everton Conger initially thought Booth had shot himself, but after realizing Booth had been shot by someone else, Conger and Lieutenant Doherty asked which officer had shot Booth. Corbett stepped forward and admitted he was the shooter. The government
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
yeah. Oh, that's Obama. Yeah.
No,
So
I mean that wasn't Obama. That was
who says it?
was it the Secretary Defense?
Oh, it might have been.
I don't remember.
I don't fucking remember either. The government detectives immediately grew angry at Corbett, the trigger-happy sergeant who had just deprived the nation of a trial for the president's murderer, all because he said God Almighty directed him to do it. Instead of the assassin, it was Corbett who was arrested and was sent back to Washington for disobeying orders and to be questioned. So Booth, obviously, they're not going to cuff him up, but there's like, instead of being seen as like a hero, like good job, you got him, he was arrested, and they're like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, we needed to find out a bunch of shit, and he's just like, God told me to do it. And you're like, God, who? And he's just like, I need more mercury. You guys have mercury? So
It's in retrograde.
he was court-martialed and questioned by Edward Stanton on why he disobeyed orders and killed Booth. Corbett claimed that he thought Booth was going to shoot his way out of the situation. That's why he fired on him, even though he initially said Providence directed him to do it.
He'd probably get erased in today's cops.
Yeah, seriously, he would probably. But Stanton paused, the guy who was questioning him. Stanton paused and then stated, "The rebel is dead. The patriot lives. He has spared the country expense, continued excitement, and trouble. Discharge the patriot." Which is a pretty cool thing to say, especially if you're Corbett. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm the patriot.
Yeah.
Aim small, miss small, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So,
Mel Gibson will be me soon.
yeah, so, I mean, you don't want to be Mel Gibson either, to tell you the truth.
No, I'd rather have Mel Gibson be me than me be Mel Gibson.
I'll stay out of that one. He received a portion of the reward, about $1,656, which is $26,000 today.
Yeah, shit, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And then, which is like a year's salary.
Yeah.
And then was discharged from the Army. He went back to being a hatter in Boston, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you go back to what you crave,
need.
mercury, but was unable to keep his job and the numerous jobs after that because he kept stopping work to pray for coworkers or just getting fights with them about God. We all had that coworker, right?
Yeah.
He then turned to doing lectures at Sunday schools, women's meetings, and tent meetings, like women's I don't know who would invite him to a woman's fucking event.
Yeah.
Be like, invite the guy who's always high on mercury and fucked up in the head. But in tent meetings about killing Booth, and so he would just talk about killing Booth and try to use his fame for profit. But surprisingly, he was never asked back due to his erratic behavior.
Yeah.
So
Made them a little nervous. Yo, could you imagine? All right, just bear with me here. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
God fucking damn it, man.
kills Donald Trump. You shoot Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the back of the head. Everybody gets mad at you, and you have to go back to your job at Lids.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait. First off, a bullet's not going through that meaty ass head and neck, dude. That thing is thick. And,
You corner The Rock in a burning barn, and you shoot him in the back of the head.
and he's not selling the hats; he's making the hats. So you have to shoot.
People at Lids make
You
hats.
shoot, yeah, but you shoot Dwayne in the back of the head, and then you got to go back to Taiwan.
Got to brush up on your Taiwanese.
So that's even worse than just going back to Lids. I mean, at least you're right next to a Cinnabon and Lids, right?
True.
All
Get
Lids
that
are next to
smell.
Cinnabons, right?
I think so.
It's like
So your hat smells good.
yeah, hide a bun in there.
Had a bun in the hat.
So R.B. Hoover, a man who later befriended Corbett, he was probably fucking insane too. I don't know how you'd
Yeah.
be friends with this dude.
I don't know. I'd be friends with him because it's one of those friends that you hang out with, but you just kind of like watch from a few feet away.
Yeah, you like invite him over because you have other friends over, and you're like, let's
Yeah.
just watch what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give him too much beer and see what he says. But he later befriended Corbett and recalled that Corbett believed men who were high in authority at Washington at the time of the assassination were hounding him. Corbett said the men were angry because he had deprived them of prosecuting and executing John Wilkes Booth themselves. He also believed the same men had gotten him fired from various jobs, classic blaming other people, and Corbett's paranoia was furthered by hate mail he received for killing Booth. He became fearful that Booth's Avengers, or organizations like the Secret Order, were planning to seek revenge upon him and took to carrying a pistol with him at all times. As his paranoia increased, Corbett began brandishing his pistol at friends or strangers he deemed suspicious. So he just whipping that out.
Well, one thing I do want to point out is like, from our perspective today, people love Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was like half of America that fucking hated him and wanted him dead. And so there were a lot of people in support of
John Wilkes Booth.
technically John Wilkes Booth when he killed him. So like there were a lot of people that like loved John Wilkes Booth and hated him. So
But-
I don't doubt it that he got a lot of death threats from that.
Wait, if they loved John
loved-
Wilkes Booth,
they
why
loved-
would he get death threats from?
Because he killed him. I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but he also got it from the other side of people who were just like,
We want him alive.
we wanted to see him hanged. Like, we wanted to be a part of this. Like, we deserved it as Americans.
Yeah, no, but like what I was just trying to say was like not a lot of people today realize that a lot of America did hate Abraham Lincoln. Like he wasn't as loved as people consider him now.
I
when
mean,
he
there was
there.
a war for it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You're like, exactly. It's like, can you believe that? Fun fact, did you guys know people didn't like Abraham Lincoln? Yeah, half of America
Yeah.
fucking hated him.
But people don't really think about that as often as you'd think.
Do you know Jefferson Davis, the president of the South, was caught trying to flee to Texas to get more troops? And when he was caught, he was dressed like a lady.
Really?
Yeah, he's dressed in drag because he was, which is okay.
Yeah, no, if that's your thing, do it.
Like, we have to like preface that now. We're like, that's okay.
Fuck, we're losing listeners.
But he was dressed like a lady because he was trying to be in disguise. He was just like, shit, you caught me. Like,
Yeah.
imagine pulling him out.
Yeah.
Imagine pulling Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson dressed like a lady. We're just going to keep coming back to this.
Hillary Clinton dressed as a man.
Yeah. I mean, I voted for her, but those power suits are very powerful. I'll tell you, Dwayne would look good in those too.
What was the suit that Michael Scott had? La Femme?
Oh, yeah. It was mysterious. It doesn't have any pockets either. So while attending the soldiers' reunion of the Blue and Gray in Caldwell, Ohio in 1875, Corbett got into an argument with several men over the death of John Wilkes Booth. The men questioned if Booth had really been killed at all, which enraged Corbett. That's like when Buzz Aldrin punched that guy in the face. He was like,
"Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite YouTube videos."
He's like, "Oh, the moon landing was fake," and then Buzz Aldrin's like, "You motherfucker!" Boom, and it's like knocks him right in the nose.
9-year-old man punches this guy in the face.
I mean, he was probably like 75 at the time. He's like 90 now, probably.
He's got him pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
That's the punch of a man who's stepped foot on the moon.
Yeah, second. I mean, not first, but hey.
I didn't say first.
No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, if it was Neil, he probably would have fucking decapitated him, right?
Yeah. He would have punched that head straight to the moon.
To the moon, Alice. But after getting enraged by the fact that he said that he hadn't killed him, he then drew his pistol on the men. Classic Boston, am I right?
Yeah.
Just really quick to grab that pistol.
He sounds a lot like Frank from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, I know. He drew the pistol on the men, but was removed from the reunion before he could fire it. That sounds like my 10-year reunion.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's what my 10-year reunion's like.
They're like, you don't live in Hollywood. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking show you.
Just 2 revolvers shooting in the air.
I'm like Yosemite Sam, with my fucking long mustache. But so they removed him before he could fire it. And in 1878, Corbett moved to Concordia, Kansas, where he acquired a plot of land through homesteading, upon which he constructed a dugout home. He continued working as a preacher and attended revival meetings frequently. And this is the part where it's like a little mysterious. This is the very end right here. Due to his fame as Lincoln's Avenger, as they called him, also that was another one of his nicknames, Corbett was appointed assistant doorkeeper of the Kansas House of Representatives in Topeka in January of 1887, which doesn't seem like assistant doorkeeper is a good job, but it's also a good job for a guy who's fucking fucked in the brain because of mercury poisoning. Yeah. So he's just probably like, can I take your hat, sir? And he's like dancing around. Like, and
he
grabs
like, the hat. This hat needs more mercury. Hold on.
And they're like, oh, that's nice. They gave him a job. So, I guess like a carnival barker out in front. He's like, come see the crazy motherfucker who shot John Wilkes Booth. Yeah. On February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, he became convinced that officers of the house were discriminating against him. He jumped to his feet, brandishing a revolver, and began chasing the officers out of the building. Dude, he is a fucking hoot and a holler.
Yeah, I want to hang out with this guy.
I take it back. I don't want to have him drink beers with me anymore because I'd have to pat
if
that
he's packing heat the whole time and
Seriously,
whipping it out.
Just say one bad thing.
Yeah.
Be like, Airbud wasn't that great. He's like, motherfucker.
Well, somebody guard that dog!
So, no one was hurt, and Corbett was arrested. But the following day, a judge declared Corbett insane and sent him to the Topeka Asylum for the Insane. On May 26th, 1888, he escaped from the asylum on horseback. Fucking really cool. Yeah. He then rode to Nodesha, Kansas, where he briefly stayed with Richard Thatcher, a man he had met while he was a prisoner of war. And when Corbett left, he told Thatcher he was going to Mexico. Rather than going to Mexico, though, Corbett is believed to have settled in a cabin he built in the forest near Hinckley in Pine County in eastern Minnesota. He is believed to have died in the Great Hinckley Fire on September 1st of 1894. Although there is no proof, the name Thomas Corbett appears on the list of dead and missing. So they never found him.
Yeah.
So they think that's where he went and that's where he died, but there's like that mystery of like, where did he end up? Did he actually make it to Mexico?
There's no confirmations about anything.
Exactly. So he could have made it, but a lot of people think that he stayed in that cabin and then he just got burnt up in that fire. But like they said, there was no proof. I mean, they didn't have like. Maybe if they found a charred corpse nowadays, they'd be able to test it. But like
back then there's no way.
Like, here's a dead guy. Like, I don't know. So
it looks about the same height.
So that was the story of Boston, the gun-toting, quick to get fucking mad mercury snorting patriot.
This guy's awesome.
Having John Wilkes Booth shooting.
Is there a way that we can get a hold of some mercury that we can like eat for the next episode? So we're all batshit crazy.
Well, I don't think you eat it. I think you just sniff the fumes.
Ooh.
So,
like out of a paper bag.
Off a hat.
Off a hat. Go find some hipster store top hats and sniff the hats.
It might be a couple of years before we get to Boston level, but I mean,
Yeah.
that guy. Talk about somebody who had.
A real revolutionary.
Well, there's talk about somebody who had like greatness thrust upon him, if I may say. Like that guy
Yeah.
was gonna do nothing with his life besides go crazy and just like
Disintegrate.
make mediocre hats. But like, he's
Whoa, wait, was there ever any
No, I
claim
never
to
saw his hat.
his quality of hats? Maybe he made the best fucking
it
hats
did
you've ever
say
seen.
proficient hat maker.
Yeah.
but I
Good
mean,
for him.
I don't know. It just like right place, right time. But it also kind of ruined his life a little bit because he became
Yeah.
so paranoid about the whole situation. But chances are he was going to be paranoid at the end anyway. So.
Yeah, a lot of paranoia.
So that's like the story. I did not know about that at all, and I was like, "That's really interesting." About like it's the assassination on top of the assassination.
Yeah,
which
no one
is,
ever
like,
talks about that.
Yeah, and it's very similar to if we want to get into like theories about assassination. Jack Kirby is the guy who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, who shot Kennedy.
Yeah.
And or the theory behind that. And Jack Kirby, he was a furniture salesman or something like that, but he had loose ties to the mob.
Yeah.
And he said that he shot Lee Harvey Oswald because he didn't want Jackie Kennedy to have to go through a long, strenuous trial and stuff like that. But a lot of people believe that the government paid Jack Kirby, or the mob paid Jack Kirby a shit ton of money because I think a couple months later he died of like a brain tumor or something like that. So they were like, "Hey,
A dying man.
like we
Yeah.
can give a lot of money to your family,
Yeah.
and set them up for life if you go and shoot Lee Harvey Oswald." Because Jack Kirby went to prison, and Boston Corbett got like basically like a pat on the back and been like, "Hey, just don't do that shit again, crazy motherfucker."
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty interesting. I mean, that's that iconic picture of Jack Kirby shooting Lee Harvey Oswald. He walked right up to him and boom. But
Yep.
what a cool picture. I'm sorry, that's like really fucked up to say, but
I mean, some of the greatest photographs in like human history are acts of like severe violence like that.
Yeah.
Like that one of the
it's so visceral, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So.
yeah.
But yeah, very weird. That's a whole nother theory about that assassination. But double assassinations are, I guess, more common than you think. You
Yeah.
know? People want revenge, and they'll get it any way they want.
Good old game of
Any way
dominoes.
they have. And watch your fucking back, Dwayne.
Yeah. I'm watching Dwayne.
Dwayne.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'd be the first one in line to shoot Dwayne if he made an assassination, but God, I'd love to watch that all spiral out of control.
Oh god, I'd love to see him in a Bronco going down the freeway, and then the Bronco runs out of gas. And
He wouldn't
just-
be in a Bronco.
and
He'd be in
he's-
a Hummer.
No, I'm talking OJ. That's why I
Oh,
said
OJ.
Bronco. Well, I'm just saying like that's what OJ drove. But then
Yeah.
like he gets out of the Bronco and he just like he when he runs, it's like the 3 car lengths, and he's kind of like hulking it down the street. Oh, that'd
With
be so
with a Dwayne The Rock Johnson with a broken leg on his
and then
back.
and then they put up on CNN, right? They put a text over. It says Rampage 2.
Yeah.
And he's Rampage now.
He's the Rampage.
like how Rampage is a character. I'm like, he's Rampage.
I watched 90% of that movie on a flight, and we landed
Yeah, I
in the
wasn't
final
interested.
scene, and I don't know what happened, but I'm not going to pay money to see what happens. So if HBO picks that one up soon, I can watch that online.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
Anyway, okay, that's me. I'm done with that one.
All right.
Rest in peace, Boston Corbett.
Yeah.
Oh, so delicious, Boston Corbett. It sounds like a dessert.
It does sound like a dessert. All right, so I'm going to hop into my story now.
Hop in.
So, Tarbin, what do you like to do when you're bored?
What do I like to do? I'm trying to fix my Xbox right now because the Wi-Fi card broke and they tried to charge me $90. So I'm just doing it myself by buying parts on eBay and then putting it together. So I'm gonna break my fucking Xbox. But
Can you hardline it?
yeah, but like the Wi-Fi card is only $10. Anyway,
Oh,
that's I like shopping. No, I don't know, watching movies, and I don't have hobbies.
Okay.
This is my hobby, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like the second job, but yeah, more of a hobby.
Yeah.
So I'll get back to someone because our topic today has to do with his something like he likes to do when he gets bored.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who?
So today I'm going to take us all the way to Germany and visit a nurse named Niels Hogel. I guess it's Hogel.
Oh, and so you were just talking about his favorite hobby to do when he gets bored?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and just call him Niels. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Niels.
Niels?
Yeah.
Niles or Niels?
Niels.
I don't know. I'm not German.
Yeah. Let's just go with Niels.
You call him Neil for all I care.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Neil. So Neil was born December 30th, 1976 in Wilhelmshaven in Lower Saxony, Germany.
Okay.
Which it's kind of funny that it's Lower Saxony, but it's the northwestern part of Germany. It's like on the sea. It's like on the coast.
Yeah, but it's the lower part of Saxony.
I don't know if that's how it works. I think the whole thing is Lower Saxony.
No, it's all. You know what? I don't know why you decided to attack Germany right now. Okay, we don't.
Dude, I'm
need this.
like 80% German.
You don't know North and South, and you're fucking with my head.
Yeah. So Niels worked as a nurse from 1999 to 2002 in Oldenburg. Oldenburg, there's no S in there. Oldenburg.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2003 to 2005 in Delmenshorst.
Jesus.
Delmenshorst.
You got a mouthful and a half.
German language is a lot of letters in every word, especially names and shit like that.
As my dad always used to say, he always goes, the Germans, they have a beautiful language, and it's like the most harsh language ever.
It's not a very romantic language, I think is what they say.
The French have a nice language.
It's like the most like romantic, like
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Germans is like
yes. So there's not much to talk about Niels. But so in 2005 he was arrested. Can you guess what he was arrested for?
He was doing something to these patients. He's a nurse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was he fucking killing them?
So he was caught injecting patients with algamalene. What's algamalene? It's a medicine used to, quote unquote, bring out and show whether or not a patient has Brugada syndrome.
You didn't know that? Everybody fucking knows that.
I know.
Adrenaline brings out Brugada syndrome.
Exactly. Do you know what Brugada syndrome is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I want to know if you know. You tell me.
Okay. It's a genetic disorder in which the electrical activity within the heart is abnormal.
Is abnormal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in other
electrical
words,
activity in the heart is abnormal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This illness drastically increases the risk of abnormal heart rhythms and sudden cardiac arrest, leading to death if not treated correctly. Yes. So using the adrenaline compound on someone who is not experiencing any form of heart failure or abnormal heart conditions would send the patient straight into cardiac arrest.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's kind of like what do these kids take nowadays? Adderall. It has like the opposite effect. Not like Adderall is like it'll give you cardiac arrest, but people with ADD take Adderall to calm down. But if you don't have ADD, Adderall makes you really hyper, right?
Yeah,
and hyper focused.
Exactly.
So it's like, this medicine is very similar to that, where if like you have a heart problem, it fixes your heart problem.
But
if you don't,
it's
it literally causes a heart problem.
Exactly.
Cardiac arrest, which is the biggest heart problem.
Yeah.
Stops your heart.
So that's exactly
Cool.
That's the way you put it. So Niels would be convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 7 years. 7.5 years in prison.
Oh, that half really fucking stretches out.
Yeah. So after he was convicted of attempted murder, a woman whose mother died at the clinic Niels worked at became very suspicious and reported to police that she believes her own mother was a victim to what he was doing earlier.
Okay, he was like a nurse at a hospital, not like a convalescent home or anything like that.
No, it was a hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, after the accusations, Niels was found guilty of murder of 5 other patients, and was no. This is where it gets fucked up. So, he's guilty of killing 6 people.
Yeah.
He gets given a maximum sentence of 15 years.
What
the fuck, Germany?
Wait, what's Germany's law on murder?
I do not know, but that shit's fucked.
What?
Yeah.
15 years is like, there's people, and
that's 6 people too.
I can't compare America's justice system to Germany's, but there's people here who get like 25 years for fucking having weed. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's less than 3 years per murder.
Well, here's the thing though. Could they prove that he was murdering these people, or does it look like malpractice?
I feel like he kind of admitted to it.
Okay, if he admitted, that's really fucked up. If they're like, maybe this guy's just really dumb and he doesn't deserve to be
I don't think there's many nurses that are really dumb and accidentally killing people.
Well, there's some fucking nurses that are really psychotic and fucking killing people.
Exactly.
So, I mean, hey, you never know.
Yeah. So during his 15 years in prison, Niels admitted to a psychologist that he was responsible for at least 30 deaths at one hospital.
Oh!
And this led to a new investigation looking into Niels and the other places of his employment.
Watch out, mosquitoes. Niels on the rise for the death count.
Yeah. So during the new investigation, Niels comes forward and admits to killing her mother and doesn't stop there. He also admits to administering 90 unauthorized injections.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Okay, wait. This is after he got the 15 years, so he's saying this shit like from prison, or he's saying this before he gets
Well, they did a new, they like started a new
trial. Oh, so he has the 15 years in. Oh god. I mean, this guy's obviously like, I don't fucking care at this point.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to find out about this. Like, it sounds like he's trying to get like life in prison, or he doesn't really care at this point.
Yeah. And he said out of the 90, 30 patients died and 60 were successful. So he
What
had
does that
about
mean?
a
They
one
were-
third.
60 were successful. He brings them.
Successfully resuscitated.
Oh, so he liked to bring them back.
Yes.
Oh, he tried. So he wasn't trying to kill them. He was trying to revive. I mean,
So the part that might have confused in the beginning when I asked what your hobbies were and what you like to do when you're bored. So it turns out Niels came up with this fun little game when he would get bored at the hospital, and he found deep pleasure in resuscitating people. So he came up with a way to send patients into cardiac arrest just so he could save the day.
wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to take my hat and flip it over and try to catch it on my head,
Who doesn't?
I mean, that's my hobby.
Yeah.
This guy, he's
yeah.
not doing that. He's flipping the needle up, seeing if it sticks.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction style in your fucking chest,
Yeah.
and then seeing if he's God or not.
Yeah.
Bet it makes you feel pretty powerful.
Yeah. So Neil said he loved the feeling of saving their lives and loved the attention he'd receive from coworkers.
Can I ask you this?
What's up?
I heard something similar. Like, this is a thing for there's been more than one case about this thing, and I don't know if it's this guy, and you're gonna get to it or not, and I don't want to spoil it, but
Then don't ask it.
I want to
you
ask
dick.
it. I think it's okay. I want to ask it. God, if you don't say it, I'm
Can
gonna
I
bring it
get
up.
back to my story?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
So he said he loved the feeling of saving their lives and loved the attention he'd receive from coworkers. But when the plan went south, aka a third of the time, he would be thrown into a deep hole of depression and be incredibly sad that he basically killed
Oh, okay.
this innocent person.
He was remorseful.
Yeah.
So I guess he's less of a serial killer and more of a sociopath, I guess you could say, like, who just really sometimes bad at medicine.
Well, I think for a lot of people, the sadness of accidentally, well, not even accidentally, but purposely killing someone and not being able to, like, save them, that would probably prevent them from, like, hey, maybe I should stop doing that, right?
Yeah, but it seemed like he had a god complex or something like that, where it's like he didn't want to kill them. He got the high off of saving people, but the thing is, it's like they probably didn't let him save people because he was a nurse, not a heart or brain surgeon. So
Yeah,
he
so
probably
the-
just want to feel important.
The problem was that for Nels, whatever the fuck his name is, who cares? He's a piece of shit.
His name's Fur Niels now.
Yeah, no, but for him,
For Niels.
the only way that he could get out of that deep depression was to do the exact same thing again, but save someone.
Exactly. I
And
mean,
so when he
get back on the
failed-
horse.
Yeah, so when he failed, he would go stab another person with this drug and make them die and try to get them back.
Hell yeah. I mean, not hell yeah, but I just mean, I don't like quitters.
Yeah. So in 2014, Nels would be crowned a serial killer by German police, and they launched a major investigation. In this investigation, 200 suspicious deaths were identified, and more than 130 bodies in Germany, Poland, and Turkey were exhumed.
See, that's the thing, though. Is I'm actually really curious about. I think it's the intentions behind the kill that makes you a serial killer. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm also not a detective.
I think
or a
it's the
cop.
numbers.
No, it's not numbers because they're spree killers. Spree killers are somebody they kill a bunch of people in
One
a
sitting.
short amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also serial killers who, like, it's serialized where they have like an MO and they do something a certain way and it's like ritualistic and stuff. And like, yeah, this is definitely all of those, but it's also not he wasn't trying to kill them, so they're accidental deaths. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was trying to kill them so he could save them.
But he wasn't killing them. He was bringing them to the edge of death and then bringing them back. He never wanted them to die in the first place. He wanted them to get sick to the point where they needed him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But can I ask you a question? Because I don't think he's going to do it. He's already in jail at this point. But I heard a story about somebody who would do that, and then they would crawl in bed with the patient and like spoon them.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
Oh yeah. Like they would save the patients, and then they would spoon them and cuddle with them and shit like that, like while they were unconscious. And it was weird.
I didn't see anything about that with this
Yeah.
guy. Police made an announcement in August of 2017 that they had come to the conclusion that Niels had been responsible for at least 90 deaths, including the 6 that he was already convicted for.
Neil.
Yes.
Niels.
Niels.
God, what a shit ass nurse.
So he had did this so many times that he couldn't actually say how many people he had done it to.
Okay.
And so whenever people would be like, "Oh, is this a person?" he'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Like he wouldn't deny any of it. Like he wasn't there to be like saving his own ass. Like he was just kind of like, I honestly can't remember how many people. And like, so when they'd bring somebody, be like, yeah, I guess like it's a possibility. Like, I don't remember. Like, sure.
See, I'd like to know his mind state because we go into it again about what serial killers actually think. And once they're serial killers, they admit to 3 crimes they actually did. Now they're at a point where like, I'm not getting out. I might be getting the death penalty.
Yeah,
anyway.
might as well cooperate.
Might as well try to up my numbers so I become legendary. You know what I mean? A lot of serial killers or a lot of like death row murderers, they admit to like those guys like, I killed John Benet Ramsey, and they're like, you did? Where's her body? Tell us details. And they start telling details. And a common practice that detectives do is they withhold information from the general public.
Oh, yeah.
So when somebody comes forward and goes, I did it, they go, tell us about this. And there's like a detail that they didn't release to anybody. And if they get that detail right, they go, holy shit, this guy might have done it.
Yeah.
So a lot of these killers, they try to say, I killed somebody so they can get like on death row if they want to die, or they get special attention or media attention and stuff like that. So I mean, that's another really interesting like mental thing going on there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
so finally in January 2018, so it's pretty recent.
Very recent.
He was charged with the murder of 97 patients, including that they intended to press charges against other people at the hospital and the staff, saying that they were aware of it but didn't do anything about it.
What the fuck?
So I guess they have some proof that maybe some people knew what was going on.
So they're originally saying that he killed 30 people with 97 incidents, and now they're saying that he's up to 97 murders.
Confirmed.
Wow.
So investigators today think that the death toll could be anywhere close to or even more than 200 people. But they can't confirm that because the bodies have been cremated.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, even if they're not, they're pretty old at this point. That was in the 80s or 90s.
And so Niels is now 41 and serving a life sentence in jail as Germany's biggest serial killer post-war history.
Post-war, who was pre-war Hitler?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess that was more of like our genocidal people. Our people commit genocide.
A lot of bad things happen. Yeah. I don't know.
That's interesting too. Yeah, I mean, was that all at one hospital?
No, 2.
Oh,
so that's what happened was that he admitted to the shrink or the psychologist, whatever, that like he killed 30 people at this hospital, and that's when we're like, oh shit, he's worked at another hospital, and so they looked into the other hospital and realized that there was another 100 or so people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fucked up thing about the whole thing is that it sounds like he has like a mental illness of some sort.
Yeah,
but when he's sane enough to know what he's doing is wrong, but he's not sane enough to resist the urges of doing this horrible fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I mean that's another really interesting.
Yeah, and there was a quote. I didn't get the whole quote. But his psychologist said like he's not an angry or violent person. He just he found too much euphoria from saving people, and so he did what he could just to like get his fix. Like he didn't want to hurt anybody. He just wanted to save people, but he had to create his own
scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's fucked up. I mean, like, I'm obviously not siding with him, but you have to admit that there is a difference between somebody who gets I mean, I guess there's not really. Somebody gets like a sexual thrill out of it, or somebody gets like, I mean, I guess it's all the same end game. You're doing it to feel good. So I mean, it's fucked up in the first place. So I guess, yeah, fuck him. You know, he shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. I wasn't defending him anyway, but I was just trying to, I don't know. He's such an interesting case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people who like Munchausen by proxy and stuff like that, which is or Munchausen syndrome. Munchausen by proxy is when you make somebody else sick because you want them to need you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's like if
finding someone to be dependent on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And you like the attention and stuff like that. So
sure.
And Munchausen syndrome is where you get like sick on purpose, and then you go, hey, like look at me. So this is
so
I don't know. So it's really, really, really interesting. And damn, 97 people. Shit.
Well, 200.
200.
That's what they assume.
They assume it's, but 97 confirmed. I mean, when you have confirmed kills, it's usually like at least like half of that number more.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was at 200. He doesn't even remember. He's just like.
Yeah. So I think they think it's at least 200, maybe more, and they were only able to test 130 bodies because of cremation and stuff, and they think that they were all his, but they could only confirm exactly 97. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's enough to just be like,
yeah, it doesn't matter at that point. At that point, you're only stroking that guy's ego of being like, you got another 3, John, and he's like, I mean, Neil, and he's like, yep, probably did.
Yep.
He doesn't seem happy about it though. So it's
no,
like, there's a part of me that's like a weird.
You feel bad, kind of.
Sympathy
he's
for
sick.
him.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man, I'm sorry, but like, also he killed so many people. It's like,
I don't really feel that bad.
Yeah,
I know for sure.
You. So. Wow. Okay. I think that concludes our episode for this night. You know, we one guy he couldn't kill though, if he injected him.
The Rock,
Dwayne the Rock fucking Johnson. Yeah.
Can't get through that skin with a pansy ass needle.
It would bend the needle.
Snap it.
He's made of steel.
He is the Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Shaq had a movie of the Man of Steel?
Nope.
Oh.
You mean Henry Cavill?
No.
You're talking about Shazam? Anyway, we'll get back into that next episode. I don't know what Shaq movie he's talking about.
Yeah, it's like Steel.
Oh, he's in a movie called Steel?
Yeah. He was a superhero who was like made of steel.
Oh, I didn't. That's one we're gonna have to watch next time. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. We always appreciate you guys listening to our rantings and ravings and trying to be psychologists and cops and all of the above, and probably getting half of it wrong.
Good people.
But we like hearing you guys telling us if we did get it wrong. So send in some comments, or just reach out if you'd like to. And if you have any questions or comments, that's fine too. DM us, email us. Send in your strange encounters or spooky stories. What are you showing me? Oh, you're showing me a picture of fucking Shaq and Man of Steel, or Steel. Jesus Christ, that looks fucking awful. Anyway, send in your strange, spooky stories to the contact link at campstrange.com. Go to campstrange.com to see all the hyperlinks. Rate, review, subscribe. We said it at the top of the podcast, but like we said, we would really, really appreciate it. It only helps us reach more people, and maybe we could get featured one day on Apple, and I don't know.
Awesome.
That'd be cool, man.
That'd be so cool.
But yeah, we love you guys, and I guess that's fucking it.
Yeah,
right?
So that's gonna do her for us.
Yeah, so keep on staying spooky and strange and weird and creepy and every other thing you are. And I guess don't forget to stay strange.